Hi, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Folklore. We are taking a long journey into the afterlife. So this episode is going to be Emily, heavy, eccentric, and if you don't like that, go fuck yourself. I'm a I'm a fucking delight, okay? Damn it. Anyways. Okay. So we've touched on these excuse me. We have touched on these things in a way, but we haven't actually talked about them um in detail. But we are going to talk about traveling through the duat. So we're going to talk about judgment of your heart, the devourer, and kind of like the ins and outs of this journey. And so yeah, let's go. All right. So the journey through the duat. Now, the duat is not hell, as some might believe. It is not punishment. It is actually a realm of passage. It is the final destination, um, or not destination, the final passage to your final destinations, kind of thing. It is a dream-like underworld where the souls travel after death. Each night, Ra sails through it, battling Apophis, the serpent. See, I said it, serpent. I said it. Serpent of chaos to rise again each morning. The soul follows this path, navigating 12 gates, each guarded by deities and riddles. Why is it the Egyptians are all about riddles? Any I was gonna say any game that ever has like a sphinx in it, I without a doubt am always like, what is this fucking riddle? I don't know, but it's always a sphinx with a riddle. Something. Um so God damn it. Um so anyways, this journey is not linear. It is actually more symbolic. The duat reflects the soul's inner terrain. So its fears, the regrets that they've had, and their hopes, and probably a little bit more of their dreams. It's basically a mirror maze of memory. Uh, During this journey, you'll meet Sokar, the god of silence, in a cavern where sound dies. You'll then face Apophis, who coils around your doubts. You'll name your truths to pass through, and you'll face yourself. Um, your memory becomes your map, basically. So this is a descent into your subconscious, a confrontation with shadow, and a ritual of becoming. And honestly, you can actually turn this into like a ritual of your own. You don't have to be like a witch to do this, but this is also maybe some inner healing could help you. You would basically draw 12 symbols, symbolic gates or stages. You would assign each a personal emotion, memory, or fear that you've avoided. You'll journal, what name must I speak to pass this gate? And then you can also like burn or bury the map after your reflection or symbolizing your passage through each gate. You can also create a playlist of 12 songs, one for each gate, and you can let that sound guide your descent into your subconscious through each gate. Um, so, um, during this journey, you will also have to weigh your heart, and your heart is ultimately going to decide your afterlife or the type of afterlife that you have. The heart, or Abe, was the seat of memory and morality. Egyptians believed it recorded every deed you ever did. In the Hall of Two Truths, the heart is weighed against the feather of Ma'at, the goddess of truth, balance, and cosmic order. So remember, if your heart weighs a specific way, it means that you did not live your life to the potential it needed to. And by potential, it's not, the typical things that let's say Americans believe in like power, like, oh, I have the greatest potential to be the best surgeon in the world or the best politic in the world. And when I pass because I didn't achieve those feats, that's not the case. Like, these are more moral compasses. Like, did you do right by others? Did you do right by yourself and those you take care of? It's more of an internal thing, not necessarily some type of feat everybody else believes in. Anubis guides the soul, and Tot records the outcome. Osiris presides during this weighing ceremony, and if the heart is light, the soul continues. If the heart is heavier than the feather, it faces Amet. And this ceremony isn't about sin, it's about your alignment. So, did you live in truth? Did you lie to others for personal gain? Did you honor this balance, like what you give, use what you get kind of thing? So the soul recites the 42 negative confessions. Things like, I have not stolen, I have not lied, I have not polluted the water. Each confession is a thread in the tapestry of Ma'at. It's not rules, again, but reflections. The scale is grown and the feather floats. The heart pulses with your memory, and it's time to decide. So again, this isn't really a judgment. This is not like the Christian Peter tells you if you're coming into heaven or not sort of thing. It is a resonance. It just revealed. No. Oh yes, I'm so excited. Anyways, the feather doesn't punish. Oh, that's so close. Ah! And then we have 4 more years until they decide to.
So that's what
Listen,
made me think of it.
I am not necessarily wanting to watch it. I just want it playing in the background.
Right.
Well, I do everything else. But anyways, the feather doesn't punish it. No, you're good. It reveals the life that you had. And this is something too that you can also kind of help balancing yourself. It not necessarily tells you like, damn, I was a shitty person, but it does help you like, did I do this when the right thing to do was this or whatever. Like, if you are truthfully speaking, saying like, this is who I am as a person, but you don't protect those who are also doing the same thing, then like, you're not living in truth. That's kind of like the idea behind it. So this is something that you guys can do, and if you kind of want to involve more of this kind of idea into your lifestyle, not necessarily in a spiritual way, but just like a way just to kind of like reconnect with yourself to see like where you are. But you write 3 deeds or thoughts from the past week. You read aloud 3 negative confessions they aspire to. So, I did not cheat, I did not steal, I did not lie, kind of like the 12 commandments in a way. You place a feather beside each paper, beside the paper, or each paper, whatever you want to do, and then you ask what tips the scale. It's kind of like close. You like close it with like a spoken vow in a way. Like, I seek ma'at, I walk in balance. You can also keep a weekly ma'at journal. It will track moments of your truth, moments of imbalance, and moments of restoration. Just kind of something to kind of see where you are. Now, if your heart is heavy, you don't get to continue your journey. You get to face Amit. Amet.
Amit.
Amit.
I think we decided it was Amit.
Yeah. I didn't look it up because I knew I was going to be saying a lot of like different words that I haven't said already, so I knew I was just going to butcher the one. But Amit the Devourer. Amit the Devourer is essentially a crocodile. That's what it is. He's a crocodile. He waits besides the scales. He has crocodile jaws and a lion's mane, and he has hippo haunches. Don't ask me to draw that. Um, Amit is also a female. Amit is, huh?
So, okay.
Right? Yeah. Amit is stitched from fear. So if the heart fails, she devours the heart. The soul is erased, and you have no afterlife, and you have no memory. Uh, Amit is not evil, though. She is just justice incarnate. She consumes what cannot be transformed. She is the boundary between truth and oblivion. So with just one little deed, you can literally just cease to exist because of something that you did that was not one of the like negative confession sort of things, like your heart was not lighter than the feather. She is basically the shadow of unspoken truth and the echo of a life unlived. In modern terms, Amit is the fear of being forgotten, of living without meaning, of failing to align with our deepest truths. Um, she doesn't chase you. It's not like a fearful, like, go get her kind of thing. She just waits. She is the silence that follows the denial. So your denial is often that weighing of your heart. And then after that, there's nothing more you could do. It's silence. So that's kind of what she is. And here's the thing too, if you kind of want to like feed in, not feed into that fear, but sometimes facing what you fear the most, not petty little things like I'm afraid of spiders, I'm afraid of snakes kind of stuff. Like your innermost like truth fear, like I fear rejection, or I fear being left alone, or something like that, like some trauma that you just, or like I'm afraid of this or whatever. That's kind of what this is about. So like you're feeding the fear. So basically this is what you can do. You name one fear that keeps you from like living your truth. So this is kind of something that all members of LGBTQ plus has gone through in their life. They are, yeah, like they want to live their truth of being out and proud and happy in life and successful that way. But oftentimes they're in an area or a time or a place that are like you cannot do that. Um, and it can be very hard and very stressful, and it can weigh on your heart. And that's kind of the idea of this. Because you're not living your truth, your heart is heavier than the feather. Excuse me. So, in a way, once you come out of the closet, you're a little bit lighter. But that's something that you can do. You just name a fear that keeps you from living your truth, and then you write it down, you fold it, and you place it in water or in flame. Both are very kind of significant. It either floats away or it burns up. During this time, you say, or something along the lines, I feed the devourer. Are you doing a puzzle? Oh, I was like, I keep hearing like clicks, like you're like placing a piece of a puzzle in its place, and I'm like, I
That's the
mean,
beads falling into the container.
like no judgment. I would probably do a puzzle if I had one right in front of me. But anyways, um, so once you write down your truths that you fear the most, or something like that, or whatever is weighing on your heart, you say, I feed the devourer and I choose transformation. So you're choosing to change and not ultimately go into the afterlife and not have an afterlife. You can also have an Amit altar, and this could be like your place to confront your fears and a way for you to release your guilt that you've been feeling, and to honor truth and to honor like things that have been weighing heavily on your heart. That's kind of like the idea. Like like, you might not like your choices that you live in life, but like, don't be guilty about it. Own that you did them. It's like the golden rule in a way. It's like really,
Yeah.
really crazy how like, and it's like karma. Like what you do here is going to impact you what you do there.
Yeah.
And it's like treat others the way you want to be treated. It's like this weird, crazy like combination, which which is absolutely insane because the Egyptians are way older than the time of Jesus Christ or anything with Jesus Christ. So the fact that, and people are probably going to be like, no, okay, the person, Jesus Christ himself, not the biblical whoever, lived at a time period after the Egyptians had been long around.
Yeah.
For instance, Cleopatra is like, we are closer, 2025, we are closer to the time frame of Cleopatra living than we are to the fucking pyramids being built, the pyramids of Giza.
Yeah.
Woolly mammoths walked the earth when pyramids of Giza were being built. Like,
Yeah.
bitch, I just ripped my hair out. Rip my hair out of my bun. Anyways, so do not come for me saying some bullshit. If you do, you're on the wrong podcast.
Yeah. Go somewhere else.
It better be some good bullshit. But what, like, basically, the fact remains that Catholicism, Christianity, or anything like that is heavily influenced by ancient cultures. The Norse,
Absolutely.
all of that. So, fuck your bullshit. Islam, I'm not gonna lie, I'm playing Assassin's Creed Mirage, and they have like a team of people on there to kind of help with keeping things culturally appropriate and like to not, I don't know, they're trying to not like make it, it's culturally diverse. The people who create it are culturally diverse. It's not made by white people who have no idea what, like, they actually hire Arabic speakers from the areas that like,
Good.
so like it's actually like supposed to be like more historical reference. And that's I think why I hated one of the games called Black Flag, but it did talk about the
Or like the
Charleston
pirate one,
Brigade.
right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
hated it because a lot of it was like battling in a ship and like turning, and the ship thing was just annoying. Like you have to be patient when it comes to like turning ships. You have to like plan
Yeah.
ahead, and I was just like, oh, moving ahead. Anyways, I really liked Origins because Origins is like when it all started, like chronologically speaking. Um, and so I really liked it. And you actually, during Origins, it's set in Egypt, and you actually go through the journey in a way. You do fight the sea serpent at some point in time in the game. There is quite a few things that are like similar. So like that's really cool. Same with like the Greek areas, like you do various things of like going to hell or the underworld and all of that, like, and some of the things that your character does technically, and like you battle like Hercules, which is like cool. And so it's, yeah, there's a lot of cool things. And right now we're doing, there's like Mirage, so it's set in like Baghdad in like 400 BC or something like that. It's very, very early in life. And some of the things that they're talking, like there's like different things that you can find, and it's like a historical site, and it'll tell you a little bit of history about it, of like real places in Baghdad and like in the like area. So that's cool. However, I do see a lot of similarities between Christianity and like not necessarily Islam, but like some of the, like when you uncover some of the like things that they did back in this time frame, you're just like, yeah, that looks, and there's like actually a segment where it's like, oh, uh here, you can dress up like your Viking counterpart, because there's actually historical references where it shows like people from Baghdad traveling up to like Norway and being amazed that they burn their kings on a warship or something like that. But that's how they revere them. So like you can see that the Norse and the early people in Baghdad were connected somehow. So it's like shit travels. Christianity is not the long story short, Christianity is not the one true anything. Okay. It's a molded piece of history. That's what it is. Sorry, I didn't mean to go on that. Okay.
Step back off of
Anyways.
your soapbox, please.
Anyways, long story short, there's a lot of similarities. But yeah, so back to this altar. Basically, confront your fears, release your guilt, and honor your truth. It's kind of like asking for forgiveness. Basically, it's a Egyptian way of what is it? Reconciliation, I think is what it is. I don't know. Anyways, so that's not all information probably, but that's what I could find really on traveling through the Duat. The major parts of it is essentially just like the heart weighing ceremony, and like each gate is essentially um a fear that you have to like cross through and you have to pass. So like those riddles are not necessarily just like you got to be smart enough to pass this. Like it is basically your life. It's a maze of your memory and your life that you're going through, and it's you're reliving your choices. So once you get past each gate, that's when you go ahead and weigh your heart, and then that's when your journey continues or ends. So that's kind of the idea behind it. So like it's a mirror of your life. It's a challenge. It's a guide to, if you want to have a better afterlife, then you need to show that you deserve it, basically. So tonight you can ask yourself, what gates must I pass? What truths must I honor? And what fears must I feed to Amit to essentially have an afterlife? And those are some ideas and things that you can think about in like your journey to healing, or even in your journey to growth in a way, to like getting to your higher self. But would you like to know a little bit of history? Why was the brain removed and discarded? So during the mummification process, the brain was removed. It was removed, but it was often tossed.
Okay.
It wasn't needed. Nowadays, people remove a brain and immediately put it in like an alcohol concoction to keep it preserved. Egyptians didn't do that. They didn't think it was necessary, so they tossed it. Why? Comes back to the heart. The heart is the seat of identity, memory, and morality in Egyptian culture and in ancient Egyptian world. The brain was not considered any of that. It was all about the heart. The brain was seen as a cooling organ, not a thinking one. It was like, there, not needed, whatever. The heart was the archive of the soul. So the heart is like the window to your soul. Man, that's like a very Sailor Moon thing to say. There's like an episode of Sailor Moon where like they have to find like who has like the purest heart or whatever, and like it's like a mirror pops out of their chest, and like the bad guys can like look into it. It's like, oh, you are a pure soul, but not the purest one. So that's, oh man, I'm just like playing that episode or that season in my brain because it was, I think it was like a whole season. Anyways, so this kind of flips the modern assumptions, where everybody nowadays thinks like, oh, the brain is such a like a useful organ, and it is. It's, I'm not saying it's not, but the saying like, listen to your heart and all of that kind of stuff. That's what the Egyptians believed in. Because it reminds us that like what we feel, what we remember, what we regret, that's who we are. It's how what we do with that information is kind of like, kind of gets there. So if you have felt inspired by this, you can go ahead and make your own map of the Duat, your own 12 gates, and your own heart weighing ceremony with how Brady's like, oh, absolutely not.
Oh god.
It's basically your what kind of journal is it? Your shadow work. That's basically a shadow work journal. You can, if you feel comfortable with it, you should share with us your map, your own map of the Duat, your journal entries if you decide to do that, or even a fear that you've fed to Amit in an attempt to erase that fear and do better. So go ahead, send us your soul maps. What gates challenge you the most, and what truth did you speak to pass through? And I can give you a nice little guided meditation if y'all want, but other than that, that is the journey through Duat, with more on the heart weighing ceremony, which I feel like I've already like spoken a lot about, but that's what happens with ancient folklore and religions and all of that. And a little bit more about Amit the Devourer and what happens after someone dies. So until next time.
Bye.